Hello, name's Anon, welcome back to the channel. Today I got quite a fun build for you. I have played this before in Boss Rush, and I think it's honestly very strong, so I'm going to be presenting this to you today. I'd say, let's not hesitate, let's get right into it. There's not much I gotta say about it. This build is called Drillin For Oil. It is purely factory, or rather industry themed, and that's about it. Now, for Robe, we will be using the All Robe to increase our critical hit chance by a whopping 10% and our critical hit damage by a fourth. You heard right, 25% damage increase for critical hit right off the get-go. You can increase that passive damage boost, I suppose, by upgrading your robe. Still, it is ridiculous how good this robe is. I would say everyone loves it. Alright, that's a broad statement, but it is very good. It is one of the best robes in the game, as most of the damage-themed robes are. So, Venture, Fall, Fury. I personally prefer... I strongly prefer Venture or Fury over this. But getting a crit, getting that sweet, large red number from time to time, 100 damage plus on a hit, it is certainly a rewarding feeling, and that's what we're going to be chasing after today. Now, for our starting item, I'm going to be running the on par offensive item, drumroll please, Cabi's Raw Chocolate, which is a standard Arcana themed enhancement, so to speak. So, this adds a chance to release an earthen drill when using a basic Arcana, which is very good. Not only does the drill aspect fit our build, not only is it very strong generally, damage-wise, but it goes super well with the specific basic Arcana we're going to be using. I looked this up before this video. Allegedly, it's about a 45% chance, according to the wiki, which sounds insane considering that we're using a multi-hit, many multi-hit basic Arcana, okay? It doesn't just hit twice or thrice like a charged Arcana usually would. No, it hits many times. I don't know how many. I did not look that up. I don't have to. I know it is fucking ridiculous, as you will see in a second. Let's show this off quickly. Now, drills are kind of hard to explain. All of them work the same way. They are essentially piercing, if you think about it, but effectively not so much. So usually you can have an ability that just straight up pierces through everything it strikes. Then you can have a projectile like Explosive Fireball, for example, in Arcana, that will just vanish on the first enemy hit, so to speak, or the first obstacle hit, and it has the potential to hit multiple things because it has a range, an AoE around it. But this is going to work slightly different. So it hits the first thing, right? The first obstacle in this case. And then it hits it a couple times until the obstacle breaks. And then it keeps flying. And then it repeats that process. So it's going to hit the table a bunch of times. And then it's going to keep flying and hit the barrels a bunch of times. It's kind of weird. I feel like they have a set duration, but other than that, they technically do pierce. They just don't pierce right away, which makes them slightly worse than true piercing. Okay, as you can tell right there, yeah, it's kind of odd how these work. Now, they also have the ability to fly through walls, which is even weirder, as you can tell right there. I don't think I can show that off here, but if you actually use it in a dungeon, against a thin wall, it will fly through the wall. It will just keep going. Yeah, like so. It will just fly off screen somewhere and disappear over there. Now, generally, I'd say damage-wise, these are pretty okay. They can hit multiple enemies as they have a bit of a width, and if enemies are stacked into one another, yeah, a drill will definitely hit all of them at once. They have good knockback, they stun lock essentially, I like that a lot, they hit many times, they are very penetrative, and in that regard, yeah, I just love drills. They are very fun to use, for sure. Let's get into Arcana, right, this is the spicy shade. We're not going all earth, probably against all odds, right? For our basic, we will in fact be using a lightning Arcana. Not only does this help us deal with water, for obvious reasons, and well, we can do slightly more damage against Shu if we come across that. But also, it is Bolt Rail, the strongest basic Arcana in the game. Undeniably so. It is a multi-hit Arcana that hits the maximum number of hits in this game. I feel, anyway. It hits many, many times. It has the capability of proccing our starting relic multiple times. I'm talking more than 2 times, alright? 2 times isn't that special, but more than 2 times. Per cast. It is super strong. Also, it is a bolt rail. Okay, look that up if you don't know what that term means. It's essentially a sort of screw, from my understanding. So it is definitely manufacturing, industry, steel worker themed. And therefore, it sort of fits into that construct of drilling for oil or drilling for resources, using them in an industry. However you wanna put it, right? So it definitely fits the build. It is very strong. The upgrade is insane as well. The final burst is larger and shocks foes. This thing has a large AoE already. It is redirectable. It hits very often, as you can tell. My god, I love it. It's so good. It's also insanely strong in PvP, not just in PvE. So against players, this is just as nuts. It stun locks them essentially. It can shock them afterwards with the upgrade. It has massive AoE by itself, and then the upgrade only enhances all of those strengths. I could just ramble on and on and on about how good this is. You can make an entire build just focused on this. I'm going to try and not focus on building around this in my run, but who knows, maybe we won't get another chance. So this is automatically an S tier Arcana. It is insanely strong for all purposes. Whatever you use this for, specifically, especially when combining it with a basic Arcana themed build or items like the candies, quite frankly, right? That proc on basic Arcana hits. Or not necessarily the hit, I don't have to connect the hit, I just have to cast it. I will, pretty much every single time I cast this, cast at least 1 drill forwards, right? Because I just hit that many times, I just cast it that many times. It's sweet. It is very sweet. I love it. Especially when you then start combining this with stuff like Pyromaniac, so... Field Berserk, right? I always, without a doubt, forget the name of that Arcana for whatever reason. So yeah, it is absolutely sweet. Let's move on before I start rambling. So for our dash and our standard, I'm going to combine these two here. We will be using 2 drill-themed Arcana. In fact, the rest of the build is going to be purely drill-themed. Now, these 2 are going to work very similarly to a starting relic, and the upgrades of both of them are identical, I would say. So for our dash, we'll be using Tunneling Drive, which casts forward 3 drills when dashing into any direction. Now you can tell that these have a max range as they just disappear. Over there, like, the range is quite nutty. It is absolutely huge. They remain for a while. They stun like enemies as regular drills do, right? They just work as you would expect. And then for our standard, we'll be using Spiral Rumblers, which is this Arcana, just kind of exaggerated, put onto a Frost Fan ability or a Fan ability. So we are shooting these drills in a cone. I believe it's 7 or 5. Couldn't actually count that. How many is it? It's kind of hard to count. Maybe 7, I guess. 3, 4, 5. Probably 7, yeah. So it is very nice for crowd control. It just gets a bunch of enemy stun lock. It's also nice if you shoot it like this because drills essentially get stuck like arrows would inside of our enemy, which is nice. They deal okay damage into bosses as well. They're nice against Sura to get rid of those pesky Chaos Orbs. I really like this Arcana for that purpose. And I just feel like it looks very pleasant, very pleasing to the eye. Now, both of these upgrades include explosive drills. So on the final hit, they gain an explosive hit, an AoE if you will, which is very high damage. I think both of these upgrades are viable. I'd probably prefer Spiral Rumbler since I usually don't end up hitting Tunneling Drive. It's just a dash after all, right? You do proc this all the time, mostly unintentionally. So during a boss fight, you would unintentionally dash into a direction to dodge, and then these fly somewhere off screen and they hit nothing. So obviously you do want to upgrade the Arcana that is meant to deal damage, which is your Spiral Rumblers. Finally, I believe I didn't forget anything here. We got Tectonic Drill, the the piece of heart of this build, I would say. I like focusing on this Arcana. I love it a lot generally, and in this build especially, this is absolutely a key piece. This is the key piece to this build. Now, this is a dash. It is a movement, high damage, many hit, or multi-hit Arcana. I like many hits more, right? It sounds a little more exaggerative than multi-hit. Multi-hit could mean 2 hits. Now, this is like 10 plus hits. What, 20 maybe even. I don't know. I don't know. It's too many to count. So that should tell you everything you need to know. This is not only one dash, but you have the ability to dash twice using this one Arcana. So you dash once, and then you can dash. You can essentially change your direction, dash another time, and as soon as it connects to an enemy, you lose that ability. So it will lock onto the ability like a drill and drill them to death, like so. Okay, you can see that it's still... Okay, I kind of was talking out of my ass there. Of course, you can still dash away, so it still keeps its capabilities there, but usually, once you hit an enemy, once you connect, you want to go for it, okay? You want to go for the throat, you want to get all your damage out, as you can tell. Especially with our crit robe, this deals a lot of damage. It starts critting, and they just pile up on the enemy, okay? There's barely any time I cast this where it doesn't crit on an enemy. Now, I can also do some fun maneuvers like this, and just dash around the place. I can use this for simply mobility as a dodging ability. It is very fast. It has a short delay in between the dashes, which is nice, believe it or not. That allows boss abilities to go rampant, and you're just easily dodging them. You could also cancel it at any time, I believe, so... Like so, I essentially cancel the second dash into a regular dash. It's very simple to use. It's piercing. It hits a lot of enemies, unlike the other drills. And overall, it's just insane how strong this ability is, especially once you pile up your damage numbers. Now, if this wasn't strong enough, let's look at the charge signature ability, shall we? Because, my god, it is nuts. Now it's just the whole thing turned up to 11. I can't even fathom how to describe this. It shoots a few regular drills, and then it casts this very large version of the ability. However, you can't dash out of this attack here. Okay, so you can use your regular dash to cancel it, like so. But you lose the base ability, or the ability of this base signature to dash twice while casting the drill. It's only the one dash. Okay, and then you have to commit to the attack. So it's a little more difficult to use. It's not as versatile, but it is very, very good in terms of damage. One of my absolute favorite Arcana for dealing raw damage to bosses, especially in boss rush. It is so good. You can easily pump this up and make it deal 50 plus damage per cast. Absolute minimum. Okay. I think that about sums it up. For these very spicy abilities, there's a lot of depth to all of them. But drills, I wouldn't say are super difficult to pick up or use. There's just a bunch of situations where you might want to cast them a different kind of way. This is especially true for Tectonic Drill for various reasons, right? Everything I mentioned before, like how you can use it for dodge, or maybe just dodge and then strike back. Like, I can't really demonstrate it right now. You'll see in the run. This is very interesting into bosses, especially. Let's get into the intended build playstyle, which is going to be a very, very aggressive playstyle. You have drills that stunlock enemies, allowing you to just go rampant on their asses. Keep them stunlocked for days with every single ability you have. And then you're super versatile on how you use them. You can use them for AoE, for cleavage, just cleaning up an entire room at a given time, or just one enemy, focusing one of them down like a mini boss and ignoring their ads. It's like a lot of different ways you could play it. My personal favorite is using Tectonic Drill mainly to dodge, and then Bolt Rail, etc. to attack or bait from afar. Now, you can also use Tectonic Drill offensively, but yeah, I just like doing it that way. I kind of like combining it, right? Using it to bait enemies, or using the rest of your abilities to bait enemies in, then use Tectonic Drill to finish all of them off at the same time since it pierces. Or use Tectonic Drill to bait out an attack, then like dash out, dash back in, and then strike with all your vengeance. Like, there are so many ways to play this, but I like going very, very aggressively. Now, this build is very strong with crit chances and damage increases, and that's generally what you're gonna go for. You don't really want a defensive build. You could do that, but we want to be as aggressive, as high damage as possible, as if we were playing boss rush. We won't struggle with that at all if we commit to this build ID fully. In terms of potential problems, Atlas is an obvious issue, as we are running 1 Lightning, 3 Earth. Not only that, but also the poison status effect is especially detrimental when casting a very long duration type of ability like Tectonic Drill, because it will cancel the ability at some point inevitably, and it's super annoying to deal with poison. And Bolt Rail is also rather long. You always want to full cast this when possible, which is pretty much always possible, unless you are poison, in which case it will also cancel the ability, and then your drills might get cancelled as well once you cast them, while stuck in this kind of like 1.5 second casting animation. So yeah, it really sucks. You really want to avoid that whenever possible, so just make that your first dungeon and you should be good to go. Shu is also a bit of a nuisance, but you can deal with wind enemies, so the dungeon, very easily. You hit many times, so you automatically get to avoid evade to a certain level. But if you just say there's an evade enemy coming right at you and you just cast this, it might whiff, okay? It might just go through them while they're dashing towards you. So you always want to use either Bolt Rail to just, the first hit gets rid of their evasion, and then the rest of the hits, including your Tectonic Drill, including your drill that might shoot out from the Bolt Rail, will stun lock the enemy. So it's very easy to work with that. It's also very easy to work around being slowed, since Tectonic Drill pretty much ignores that. It's a very fast moving, very long range dash. Okay, you can also dash twice into the same direction. This is very strong, even if you have very low movement for whichever reasons possible. Now, personally, I also really dislike fighting Freya and her dungeons, so I will try to avoid those when Atlas isn't on the table, because just being caught up in a random frost trap or something while dashing around, it's pretty much unavoidable. It is just very bad to do that. It sucks being frozen on this build. It is still kind of melee focused, since Bolt Rail is not exactly a ranged ability, and now that is Tectonic Drill, and you can't really rely on the other two Arcana for damage, so it is mostly melee focused, I'd say, and therefore Frost just kinda sucks to fight, naturally, as is with all melee builds. Okay, finally, for the juicy part. Recommended items and Arcana. Now for Arcana, to aforemention this, there's not really anything in particular that I would recommend. There are just the usual, so jumps to gain iframes and deal plenty of damage, explosive fireball, bolt claymore, and so on and so forth, so very high damage, large AoE, general purpose Arcana, permafrost bulwark to dodge damage and deal damage back. So like, these very versatile Arcana are always on the table, and then you really, if you're going for that, want to get buffs that increase the strength of, or the reduce your cooldowns, for example, but mainly increase the strength of your basic Arcana. Bolt Rail. It hits so many times, it is the strongest Arcana with buffs, in my opinion anyway. So if you get Field Berserk, for example, you are settled, alright? You're definitely getting your rend, you know, if you know what I'm saying. You're definitely getting a free run at that point. You just need to find a bit of damage, and you're good to go. As long as you're comfortable playing with a melee range build, melee range basic Arcana build, you're gonna be good to go. But I recommend going for a Tectonic Drill focused, either crit chance or signature charge build. Now you might ask me, then why the fuck are you running the Robe? It is just the most versatile option here. So I might not really get any signature based items. I might not really have a good time playing a signature based run, so crit chance takes that away from me, right? That burden of choice, and it just Oh wait, no, that's very bad wording. Not that burden of choice, but instead of kind of forcing me more towards building towards quick chance, signature charge. I am allowed to build whatever I want, just high damage generally. Anything goes. So I like using stuff like Sano's Hatband, which is the item that allows you to use abilities and not be cancelled by being hit, for example, or by status effects, which is very good with the Tectonic Drill. It allows you to stay right up the faces of your enemies, especially bosses, right? Like Shu. I like doing that a lot. And then similar items that also help with that specific issue. So Stygian Turtle Shell, Kasim's Airy Cloak, the Bone Mail, Calcifying Bone Mail, the Berserker items, anything that once you're hit, it kind of gives you a benefit. So like you can't be hit for a while, you get massive armor, massive damage boost, heal boost, and so on and so forth. Those items are definitely going to be your friend if you want to go for a Tectonic Drill themed build. We're just going to take whatever we find. I hope we find some high damage items, maybe a bunch of crit boosters, maybe crit damage boosters. Those would be fantastic. I would love to get a Robe upgrade as well, so I'm going to be aiming for that since it is very, very strong. For Bolt Rail, you could also go for, again, stuff like Fuel Berserk or items like the Silver Spinning Top, which is a cursed item, one of the weirdest in the game, which I rarely ever use. It increases essentially... Oh, let's say it lowers the downtime between this internal cooldown of using an ability. So I'm spamming X right now, and you can see there's a little bit of a cooldown in between them. And once I get Silver Spinning Top, it massively reduces that cooldown. It's essentially non-existent. It just casts this ability non-stop, very, very fast, allowing you to dish out massive numbers of damage, but it essentially eradicates all of your movement speed. So, yeah, be warned. You can do whatever you want pretty much. You can go either Tectonic Drill, you can go high damage, high crit chance, like even healing with that, or just a full basic Arcana build. So do whatever fits your playstyle. I'm going to try and go for the signature charge. That should sum it up. Let's get our money here and get into this run. Let's see, Burning Furnaces, no thanks. It seems to be stuck again. Oh, it's not actually. Sky Palace. No, I want to skip Atlas. Courtyards. Perfect. Alright. Oh, yikes. We get Atlas and Shu. But at least Shu isn't third. Haven't heard the default soundtrack here for a while. We're gonna try and group enemies up as much as possible to get much drill value. Now, you're not gonna see me cast my abilities a lot, simply because I don't need them. Bolt Rail just gets the job done by itself, for the most part. Well, I'm usually quite a big fan of the Earth Dungeon with this build. It is kind of dangerous. Okay, let's do this. Good example of how to group our enemies there. Good example of how to cancel attacks here. How to cancel my dash as well in order to dodge. Now, one thing I didn't mention is why I like going for items with which I can stay up the face or the arsehole of my enemies, because Tectonic Drill is an insanely strong projectile destruction tool. As you can tell right there, both the signature, so the charged version, and the base signature version of it destroy projectiles like there's no tomorrow. As long as you're perfectly centered on your enemy, man, it is so good. More crit chance, love to see it. Casted the Spiral Rumbers there to cast their drill, as that would have been quite detrimental to us. I am definitely taking the Clover, thank you very much. Seems that we're going for a high damage build. I feel like my controller is kind of doing dumb shit right now. That felt very odd. I feel like my control pad might be a little broken. Or maybe I'm just not used to it at this point. I don't play a lot of controller games currently. Especially not maneuvering around with the control pad. Okay, we get Bolt Rail, which is a fantastic upgrade. That's an instant take, I think. But maybe we should wait on the shop. Maybe we can get it for free, finding that one ticket item, which I don't remember the name of. The raffle ticket, I believe. Right, the blue raffle ticket. We get a present. Not the best can. This is purely summon related, but we get an Earthstorm agent. I do like that a lot. And then we could take this, which is also upgraded. Fantastic. That's gonna work wonders into Shoe. Love that. Very helpful. 459 coins right out of the get-go. That is sweet. It's a lot of cash, my friend. Just manually dodging those abilities and then climbing them up, finishing them off. Have fun against my summons. Holy shit, the crit chance there. Whatever happened there? I think he must have reflected one of my, the fire summon shots, probably. Right back at me while I was tectonic drilling him. Which cancelled the drill. Good example why Earth Dungeon sucks. Let's just cast these, okay, we'll be fine. We have so many summon-related items, these are just going nuts on the asses. Holy crap, especially with the crit chance, that is sweet. We got Arcana cheat sheet, I believe that's +1 spawn. Yuna Storybook, that's more duration, and Pop-Up Prime, actually, that is increased duration. So what is this? Reduce cooldowns. Oof, that is good. That is really good. And we get Pinata as well. Now, Tectonic Drill can be very wonky to use into Pinata since the first hit pushes it away. Way too far, and then you're stuck. Essentially spinning in place. It's very weird. You should always try to bait Pinata or shove them against a wall before you use it on them, because otherwise you will whiff. Guaranteed. Okay, this seems like the final room. I love this summoning start, it's sweet. So much damage. I didn't know that the fire summons would be so insanely fast. Okay, we get another sweet. Deafening Symbols is definitely pretty good. I don't want any of these. What am I missing? I'm missing this. Cool. Now we do also get the option of Permafrost Bulwark, which I really like a lot. It's just, I don't typically take that on this build. I don't really need it. It might sound arrogant, it's just, I don't really find that there's too much of a reason to apply that ever, when I can just stun lock enemies on all Arcana that I use. God damn, they're just shoving them across the stage. I love Earthstorm Agent. Such a blast. The fire agents make a bit of a weird sound. In case you're questioning yourself, yes, I have in fact never used them. I really dislike them. I thought they would suck ass. Now having two of them, that definitely changes things up, but I still believe they're not very good individually. Compare them to the Earthstorm Agent, on the other hand, which stunlocks enemies into submission. My god, that is so strong. We just wasted a bunch of heal, but that's fine. We'll make up for that by just taking more damage. Keep in mind that not only does your drill destroy projectiles, but also the enemy drill does. So yeah, now you gotta deal with that knowledge. I specifically targeted the enemy there that would have the longest downtime. So that would have the longest wait time, in other words, for the next attack. So they wouldn't attack me for the entirety of the duration, and so that I could cast Tectonic Drill on them for the entirety of the duration, therefore maximizing my damage output. It's very simple, but I mean, some people are new to the game, right? So not everyone is a gamer, not everyone does understand these kind of small optimizations. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a small optimization, so that's pretty important. Same here. So as long as I'm on screen and I'm visible, my summons will not try to run back to me. So you can kind of cheat them to run around the corner there and stay active. Whoop. Wrong direction, I turned there, didn't mean to do that. I could have ended badly. Double trouble. Okay, yeah, we are gonna destroy this run. There's no way. We're gonna obliterate this run, and you will be my witness. At least we're gonna obliterate a portion of it. Okay, I'm not that confident yet that we will win this, as I am quite idiotic regarding these. Arcana. I will definitely find a way when time comes to lose this. But who knows? Maybe we might just beat it. Beat it to a pulp. We got already the explosive upgrade on Tunneling Drive, which is fucking sweet. We get Journal of Midas, one of the most broken items in this game, giving you so much gold gain when you do not get hit and defeat enemies. You just keep getting more gold. And we get Cabi's Cotton Candy. That's the third candy off the run. Absorption Coral is pretty damn good as well. I don't think I really want to take that at this point because, well, with Double Trouble, I just have surpassed the point where I really want to accept or normalize taking damage. Now wait for the poison to wear off. Okay, and I couldn't really do it there. Bit of a pussy. Wait. Dodge the attack and go. Easy. Just to demonstrate how to time this ability the most optimal way possible, right? Cast these right away. Kill the Lancer. Because they are very annoying. Ooh, this has just become a boss rush run. Okay, I would still love the absorption card. It would be pretty darn nifty, but what's the point, right? Can we sell something? Not really. I don't really want to. We got very good items. Moving on. We don't have a single bed item. This is fucking ridiculous, quite frankly. And therefore, I'm sure I will somehow find a way to fuck this up. That's how it usually goes. Usually my most insane runs are not on camera. I just forget recording. Or the recording breaks. Or I fuck up a stupid way. Right? Or I get super greedy and then I just die into some dumb shit. Oh my god, the music just completely cancelled out there because of all the sounds. I don't think I've ever witnessed that before. Now we will get the Cascade. Hear me out why. The more Earth Arcana we have, if we find a Royal Flush, the more damage they will deal. All of them. Because Royal Flush increases the damage. No, I can't even put that into words. Like, the more Arcana of one type you have, the more damage that type deals, I believe, is the wording on it. Now we can also find the Pirate's Ring, I believe it's called, which does the inverse. So the more Arcana of different elements you have, the more damage you deal. But that is generally quite useless, in my opinion. I tend to run builds that feature multiple Arcana of the same element. I don't only... Not only do I tend to do that, I feel like I always do that, without a doubt. Without failure, right? It's just fun. Certain elements are just super good at some stuff. And usually, unless it's a very specific combo build, or a randomly assembled build, I feel like it doesn't make much sense to use 4 different elements. Oh my god, the damage! Look at these! They just do all the work for me. And then I got 3 candies. And 2 Midas items. Holy shit, Tears of Midas. That's not gonna gain much value, if any, because I have to take damage. That's not gonna happen when I just obliterate everything. Chaos Visor is good. It's slightly more crit chance on ranged Arcana. I do like that. And it gives me this nifty blue line, which is supposed to help you aim, which is completely pointless in this game. It's controller aim, okay? You can tell I'm not using a joystick by this line, right? It's always either 45 or... Oh boy, it's been a long time since I had maths in school, so excuse my lack of knowledge here. What are the angles? So this is, let's say this is 0. This is 90. This is 45. This is 90 plus 45, so 135. This is 180, and so on and so forth. So it's always in jumps of 45 degrees, meaning that, yeah, obviously I'm not using a joystick because the joystick it has fluent movement, right? It doesn't just move a strict amount every time, unlike the control pad. Jesus fucking Christ. A good example for the drills going through walls and beyond. But apparently even the beyond, even the void, the emptiness, is a wall in this game. Now I will try to fight as little with these summons as possible, since I feel like it just kind of takes away all the challenge. I have a billion damage and the summons just do all the work for me, right? It is quite fun to watch, but also it's kind of boring at times. So I'm gonna try to not rely on them too much here. Instead, put in some work, take some damage, make the run slightly more exciting, right? I didn't come here for my summons to do all the work for me after all. Oh, I would love to get this. I love that this takes a fixed amount of HP from you. Always 100. Double Trouble does not double it. That is super good. Otherwise, I would probably never get to use it in Boss Rush, because I pretty much always pick Double Trouble in Boss Rush, as you have a guarantee for that item specifically to be the first most left item on the first floor every time. And if you want to have a pretty much guaranteed win in Boss Rush, you gotta pick Double Trouble. Obviously, it depends on your build, but pretty much any and every build can use Double Trouble. Unless it's a very defensive build, you intend to be hit many times, then that is a very shit pickup. Okay, what do we do here? We got all of our upgrades. We can't really do anything with this, so let's just get the upgrade right away. I don't really want Knockout Boulder. I mean, it's great, but I don't have no use for these super high damage ranged Arcana. Look at my damage. It's already ridiculous. Knockout Boulder is the Earth equivalent of Explosive Fireball, in my opinion. It's very strong as well. I am gonna be getting the Water Pulse Agent here so I can sell it off. Since it is unenhanced, it will be preferred by NPCs that take an Arcana as a form of trade. Or trade-off. Don't really know how to word that, to be honest. Do we just move on? I think so, yeah. That's a lot of damage, friend. Now, I will be fighting 2 of the fastest bosses here, so Shu and Zeal, meaning that I can still fuck this up very easily by just being cocky and getting hit by a multi-hit chaining attack, or multiple chaining attacks. Well, I should probably put it that way. For example, the... Oh, thank you. For example, the Zeal Ultimate, or Signature Charge, the Meteor attack, right? That can definitely get you fucked up. I did not expect the big stompy guy. I was expecting the big black guy. That was stupid. Shouldn't have done that. Wouldn't have had that moment with the summons, would I? So, here we are now. Let's just do that. Ease our work just a little bit. Oh my god, that deals so much damage. Hello. Whatever your name is, I always forget you're the vampire lady. You could give me some nice stuff, but let's wait on that, because I will certainly make more mistakes on this floor. I think that painting right here, that always looks like Harry Potter. It's probably an allusion to that. Sometimes you just gotta take a hit, right? I got free healing on this floor, essentially, right? That's why I kept this water pulse agent. Yeah, there's just no strategical play involved there, pretty much at all. Just bait them to group up, and that's it. I will cast them here because this room is obnoxious if you don't have great crowd control. Which this build doesn't exactly have, but I can do fun stuff like this. And just shoot through the wall. That's one of the few intricacies to this build. It's very, very weird, but yeah, it does work. What can I say? Okay. Man, the Windstone also putting in work. Everything is just doing the work for me, I feel. But I kind of like it. Okay, Dice of the Nemesis, plural. Stupid. And then Sundial would be cool, but I don't really need that. I do like the little bit of evade chance. That could come in handy. I think we take that. We have just a surplus of money here anyway, so might as well invest it into an item that could keep us alive slightly longer. It's likely to be doing that. Over the course of the run anyway. I aimed the Tectonic there in a way that would allow me to... Oh my god, another candy! That's almost all the candies in one run. That's a dream come true. We are only missing the... Well, my least favorite by far, which is the Ball of Lightning candy. I don't know what it's called. It's the Citrus Sweet... Whatever the hell it's called, man. I really dislike it. I think it sucks ass. It is terrible. It just has a huge knockback on an enemy. And then that's it, pretty much. It deals very low damage, has massive knockback, so it knocks them away from you. Oh my god, that drill just crit for 278, or was that the Frost Stone? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even want to question it. That was insane. Always keep in mind the Tectonic Drill's projectile destruction capabilities. That definitely came in handy there. Very much so. Well, that's full clear here. I want more money. Just gotta be greedy. I am looking pretty cool with the Chaos Visor. Kind of reminds me of, well, a space-themed anime. What was it? Neon Genesis Evangelion. Don't know if I butchered that name just now. Not a big anime fan. I didn't really watch it through. I just watched 1 or 2 episodes of it. But it looks pretty retro, I think. Maybe it's modern. It looks kind of cool. It also kind of reminds me of a jet pilot, military kind of helmet, but with the pink visor, which would probably be black usually to not only hide the face and the eyes, but also probably dampen sunlight hitting it. Okay, we get, oh my god, more crit chance with the critical placebos. What a redonkulous run. Time to lose it, throw it all away. Hello, least favorite boss in this game, or any game I've ever played. I will definitely not hesitate casting my summon. Say, I want this to be over fast. That was ridiculous. I'm sorry, that was just fucking ridiculous. And I love it. Creeping Tendrils. Very fun Arcana. Might make a build around that. That would definitely be a themed run. Since this is a pretty bad Arcana, it wouldn't make it into boss rush. Thank you, Windstone. I get so many procs of all these candies. I love it. We do not find the 5th, unfortunately. Not yet, anyway. Give it a minute. We find another Midas item, which is sweet. I would prefer having this on my head, though. Thank you very much. I think that looks absolutely rad. We kind of got to play around the Windstone here, which is just... like, I'm grouping up enemies and the Windstone reverses that in order to fuck us up. It's why I generally do not take Windstone. I think it is very bad. If you have a build that relies on clumbing up enemies and that just doesn't have the massive AoEs to hit an entire room worth of enemies, like multiple directions worth, yeah, you should definitely avoid Windstone. It is terrible. It just splits up enemies. What can I say? It's very bad for you. Very bad for your health, in fact, to be taking that much damage. My god, this is redonkulous. Because we also did have the water element along the way, but... oh, I'm sorry, I just had to check that. At least Zeal has gotta be dealing some damage here, right? We can't just let everyone not play the game. That's usually not fun to the players. I wonder if not being able to play the game is just as unfun to the bosses. I would assume so. Jesus, look at all that. It's like I have an army fighting for me. Go, minions, go! Destroy! Ravage! Purge! Steal! Rape! You know? Bring me all those valuables and slaves. I have the world at my fingertips. Fight for me, slaves, soldiers, all you brave souls. Okay, where the fuck do I go at this point? We get water elemental again. Let's go down here. Seems like a bit of an odd floor structure. This seems like the right way to go. Jesus, this is insane. And it's a dead end, of course. Making me look like a fool yet again. But that's fine, every emperor needs that from time to time. Check their ego. Okay, we successfully destroyed the entire room right away. Holy, I don't even get to drill because of the dice and the massive crit chance on everything. And we hit a 1,000 gold. Jesus. What is this run? I mean, to be fair, I pretty much always hit 1,000 gold once I find Journal of Madness. It is just that fucking redonkulous, but in this run especially, man, I feel like I need my inhalator. Where's my asthma spray? I just need a good line of cocaine right now to get me back on track. You know, the harmless stuff. Wizard of Legend, that's just that's a really tough drug, man. It's very addictive. Very dangerous, in fact. Oh my god, it spreads like a wildfire. I'm glad that Fire Barrage actually keeps destroying projectiles. That's sweet. Oh my god, we almost got to a point with these rumblers kill in one hit. Or like one cast, rather. That is... Oh my god, look at that damage! 310? And that was not even just one proc, that was multiple procs worth of crits. Massive. Big dig energy crits. It's fine to take a hit occasionally. Right? You will have to do that in order to cast a perfect Tectonic Drill. No, this is not just copium. It is two. Two-thirds of the matter. That's the reason why I want defensive items, not so much offense. That I will just die in 2 hits or so. Now we get the Frost Stone. Sorry, the... Oh, I'm so retarded at this point. The Sleepy Thunderstone, of course. Which is great. And then another stacking item with the Freezing Sprite Naya. I don't think I want that. I mean, it would be pretty good with all this damage and the crit chance. I should have just drilled that. Should have just drilled to destroy the projectile. I'm not that thin, apparently. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sorry, this is intolerable. What the actual hell am I looking at? Yeah, let's do it all again. The thief just evaporated behind me. My god. And we'll do it all again. They seem to be constantly stuck in the wall. This is what, like the 3rd time I've seen them in this run. Sweet. Sweet home Alabama. Oh, we get some fun stuff. Oh my god, what do my sick and tired eyes see there? Fueled Berserk? On top of all this crap? I'm gonna stroke out here. Okay, Titan's Equilibrium, that's pretty darn good. Is it good enough to pick up though? Like, my upgrades are ridiculously good with all this damage and the crit chance, so I don't think I want to ruin that by picking any of these. Instead, I will definitely pick up a Fueled Berserk and fucking demolish the boss. Oh, this is gonna be sweet. Oh, hello guys. Would you care to jump into the abyss for me? No? You missed. Try again. Back into the abyss with you. Okay. Yeah, I can't see shit either. That's just part of the experience at this point. That was definitely one of the most cracked presents I've ever found in this game. I will get the Naya. You know, it's just more damage. It's sweet. And I will definitely be getting this. Even the unupgraded version of Fueled Berserk is ridiculously good. Now the question is, Rampant Fire Agent or Earthstorm Agent. I think it is Earthstorm Agent, as Zeal kind of moves a lot, and maybe the Earthstorm Agent could put in more work. I am pretty sure I'm wrong on that. Yeah, I should probably change, because the Fire Agent, as the name suggests, the Rapid Fire Agent, rapidly fires plenty of projectiles, meaning that, yeah, a lot more crits, a lot more chances to be hitting that dice of the Nemesis and just obliterating her in just a handful of hits. Alright, good luck to you, Zeal. You'll need it. Even get out perfectly, I just found that perfect hole. Usually I struggle with that, like, very quick time decision a lot. I always pick the wrong side. I just dash into the group of comments there. But I think I managed that pretty darn well. And just preemptively cast them so they can pause mayhem and destruction. I feel like we really didn't get to shelve this build. Just for reasons unbeknownst to me. Nah, I'm kidding, that's fine. Like, even if you play this build to its strengths and advantages, I should probably say, it does end up similarly to this, right? You just have so much damage, you demolish everything right away. That's kind of the whole point of this build, to be honest, so I feel like we definitely hit that goal. We can definitely take that off the box, right? Take that off the list, I should say. And we get the upgrade as well, dude. And this is the third time we've seen Braces of the Beast. And then, what, the second or third time we've seen Boots of Celerity? Definitely the second time. Minimum. Agni, Spark, well, we can't really use any of those, but do we have to? We get to see another agent. Wow, Line Shark. Don't like that too much. Okay. Okay, let's ruin the run. Let's lose it all. Let's get it all ripped away from our hands, right? Straight out of our hands. Come on, Sarah. You know you love to do this. I hate that attack, because when you attack too fast, it will just cancel the attack and you will end up taking damage for no good reason. Maybe I shouldn't say I hate the attack, it's just that I'm too impatient to wait it out. No, come on, man. Okay, let's end it the boring way. Just use our agent to do the job for us. Holy shit. Yeah, I might just make another video on that, honestly. We definitely could not show off this build. We just got a whole bunch of broken shite. But it was very fun, nonetheless. And this is precisely the reason I love playing this build. It always escalates in mysterious ways. It's always a different way. Maybe it's crit chance one day, it's a lot of healing the other day, it's a lot of defense the next, so I can just go absolutely nuts right up the boss's face. Or it's just super high damage, raw damage increases with the Tectonic Drill. There are just so many ways this could go. Now today we got high damage, high crit chance, Dice of the Nemesis procs, combined with pretty much all candies, 2 stones, the strongest Midas items. Goddamn critical placebo, like holy shit. How often do you play a crit build and you actually get to see placebo? That is just, oh man, that is unbelievable. Unbelievably lucky RNG. We got crit chance, we got evasion, we got armor, we got pretty much all the stats in the game right at our disposal. And then on top of that, we found a legendary library. So Arcana cheat sheet, Uno storybook, and pop-up primer. Probably the best ones. Like, we're only missing the damage book to increase the damage by 20% off Summon Arcana, I believe, and then the curse book. And we would have been good to go. And then we found the perfect 2 enhanced agents as well. Earthstorm Agent, my absolute favorite, which is super strong at crowd controlling and dealing damage generally. And it's Earth, so it would help us with the build. And then the Rapid Fire Agent, whatever the hell it's called, which is just perfect for Dice of the Nemesis. And then, of course, to top it all off, just a nice recap, we found Field Berserk, and then we got it upgraded on the final run as well. I will definitely have to take some time off here to recover from this run. I feel like I've used up all my luck for the next few years in this very run, and I can barely even comprehend what just happened, but for that reason I should probably start rambling and end this right here. So on that note, thank you very much for watching, and wherever you are, I wish you a good morning, a good day, a good night, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.